Hi and welcome to Polly Puts the Colour On. So we've got another wonderful tag video here. So a big thanks to Sue Vera Art for tagging me in this one, the fun colouring pages tag. Now I'm not going to actually tag anybody else in this video because, to be honest, there's so many tags going around. I've kind of lost track of who's done which, and I don't want to tag people and you know they've already been tagged or they're already feeling a bit snowed under. So if you're watching this and you haven't done it, take this as your open invitation to join in with this video. I'll link Zuvera Art down in the description below so that you can check her video out for the questions. Quite possibly my wonderful husband will add the questions along the screen as I go through. I have printed them off, jotted down my answers here so that I don't lose track of where I am. So obviously please click like and subscribe if you haven't already, but let's get into it. So the very first question is the oldest page you completed. Now I know that this was my very first adult colouring book that I purchased, Millie Marotta's Animal Kingdom, and I know that I always used to work through in order, so I'm pretty certain, even though it's not dated, I am pretty certain that this was my first pages that I completed, which obviously, you know, it's a double page spread, which actually I'm quite impressed. There is a possibility that I did do this one first, but I'm sure that I did just start working from the front, because that's what I always used to do. So I'm pretty certain this is where I started. And yeah, quite an undertaking really for your first ever page completed. You know, I've been colouring for about 10 years now. So you can see pencils here, no shading or anything, a little bit of gel pen there on the eyes, but that's it. You know, didn't used to do backgrounds. I mean, I still don't always bother. And certainly on this page, even if I was to do this page today, I don't think I'd bother with a background, because by the time you've done all the tentacles, let's face it, you've spent that long on the page, you don't really want to keep going with it. But I do still really like the colours that I picked for this though. Kind of brought them into the body and then brought them out into the tentacles. I'm still quite pleased actually with how this turned out. You know, with cheap pencils, I don't think this was bad for my first ever adult colouring page. So yeah, that was Millie Marotta Animal Kingdom. I will link as many books as I can down in the description. There will be Amazon affiliate links, but they won't cost you anything extra to purchase that way. So question 2 is the most recent page you completed. So we've got Spooky Colouring, The Adventures of Witch Cat. So that's like book number 2 by Sarah Shevchik, and the page that I've just completed today, just in time for the end of the month, is this cute camping page. I do try and take part in Christina's Art Corner, her tag video, Instagram tag, sorry, that she does each month. So yeah, this was the page picked for November. So literally just completed this, recording this video on the 30th of November. Just completed this page earlier today. You see lots of sparkle up at the top, lots of different paints used there. Used alcohol marker for most of it, teeny tiny bit of pencil shading and a little bit of gel pen detail kind of on the fire. Tried to make it look a little bit like steam. I'm not entirely sure that was successful, but I still like it. It's a lovely, bright, fun, colourful page, and that's what I love about this book. Every single page is just gorgeous and just so much fun to do. So yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. So yeah, that is my most recent page completed. So you'll see that again when I do my November's completed colouring pages. Goodness me, the years flying by and I keep losing track of what month we're in. So the page that I'm working on right now is from Flora by Maria Troll, and if you've watched my most recent Winging It Wednesday video, then you will have seen me working on this, and I still haven't done any more. Did this, filmed it, put it to one side thinking, right, I'll get to that, but you know, I'd got a buddy colour to finish off. I wanted to get the spooky colouring page finished so that I could, you know, post it for the tag for November. So I thought, right, well, I'll leave this one, I'll get to it at some point. So I'm hoping might still get this finished before the end of the year, but equally I do kind of want to focus on Christmas colouring, so I might chip away at it a little bit, because I think it wouldn't take me too long, you know, once I actually get around to doing it. But yeah, technically this is the only whip I've really got going on at the minute. So I've kind of counted as this being the page that I'm working on right now. Even though with it being the last day of the month, I've kind of finished off most things. You know, probably going to start Christmas colouring tomorrow, or at least more wintry colouring. So yeah, technically it's a page I'm working on right now, but I might not actually get much done on it for a while. But yeah, that was for question number 3, the page you're working on right now. And then for question 4, there's the most beautiful background. I kind of scratched my head at this because I thought, oh, I don't normally do that much for my backgrounds. I tend to keep them relatively simple. And then I thought, hang on a minute, there was a page I did quite a while ago in Johanna Basford's World of Wonder book, which is a good thing about these different tag videos. It gets you thinking and looking back through your collection. So the page that I decided to go for this question was this one here, because I remember I think this was during COVID. I think that I did this page. And the only reason I remember doing that is because then I, started watching a bit more colouring things on YouTube, looking up different ideas, and stumbled across Colour with K's channel. And I'm sure it was her that shared a kind of tutorial on how to do like a very easy Northern Lights effect in the background using like ripped paper, chalk pastel, and just kind of smudging it. And that's what I did here, and then a little bit of glitter gel pen just along the edge. And it was so quick and simple and fun to do, but I just love it, especially the black in the background, which was actually a Tombow water-based marker. I think I did 2 layers, but it didn't go through at all. So kind of all in all, between the black with all the silver on and then the Northern Lights in the background. And that's why I absolutely love this page. Although, to be fair, I do really like the background on that one. I've done that a few times, though. I've got like a little bit of cardboard that I've kind of cut little cloud shapes, and I'll use with chalk pastel. And it is quite simple and quick. It's kind of a similar idea, really, for the Northern Lights, but obviously you're using a few different colours. So, yeah, big thanks to Colour with K for that tip. Yeah. That was one of the first times I kind of experimented a bit more with the background as well. So that was kind of another reason I went for that one. So yeah, that was question 4, my most beautiful background. So question 5, a mixed media page you really love. So I have used quite a few different things on quite a few of the pages actually in this book, Fairy Tales and Folklore by Emelie Lidehall Oberg. And I decided to go for this page because I used watercolour pencils as for the lemons and kind of the main part of the leaves and the flowers. Used sparkly gel pens, used gel pens for the different gel pens for the centre of the flowers. And obviously the stems and everything, and then I used an acrylic marker for the background, and I think that was the first time that I used acrylic markers as a background. So that was kind of one reason why I thought I'll go for this page being mixed media page that I really love. I just really enjoy how it turned out, how nice, bright, colourful, cheery it is, and I had such a lot of fun doing it, trying out lots of different things, and even going over some of the lines on the flowers and going over the lines on the leaves. I enjoyed the process. Like, I didn't get bored working on this page. This was a lot of fun to do, so that's why I thought I'd go for that for my mixed media page that you really love on question 5. So then question 6 is a page you hated during the process but loved in the end. So I went for, it was a double page spread, and it is my favourite set of pages actually out of this book, I think. And I do absolutely love how it turned out. I'm so pleased with it even now. This was a few years ago, I think I did this. Absolutely love the colours, the glitter, the sparkle. I use watercolour paints. That's the shine you can see on the unicorns and the lanterns. I used metallic pencils with a blender, I think, on the flowers, I seem to remember. Used some watercolour paint on the flat, like a lot of fun. I think I even used paint on the mushrooms, but the bit that I hated doing was the sky. Like, it turned out really nice, but I'm sure I used ink tints, and I just remember getting really bored putting the Inktense pencil down, then activating it and having to go around all the little fiddly bits on both sides. And I think I did 2 layers so that it was a bit deeper and less patchy. And oh my gosh, I remember, I think that was the first bit I did on the page. I remember getting really bored, thinking like, well, I've started it now. I've got to finish using the Inktense because else it'll end up looking a bit weird. But yeah, it was really, really boring. All the rest of it, absolutely loved, as you can tell. I'm talking about all the different pencils. I use loads of different pencils on here, paints, got stickles on there, you name it. I've chucked it at these pages. Absolutely love it. It was this sky. That is what I did not enjoy doing at all. Like, I like how it turned out, but yeah, I did not enjoy the process of doing that sky. So that is my page that I hated during the process, but loved in the end. Because yeah, this is still a couple of my favourite pages. These, really pleased with how they turned out. Even got paint on the little rocks, just completely went for it. But yeah, that sky, got really bored. So then question 7, my most fun page that I did for a season or a hashtag. Now, I've not done it for a few months, but normally I do take part in Amanda Colours monthly colour palette tag, and I do usually do a Millie Marotta page. So I really could have picked any of the Millie Marotta pages that I've done for this tag, because I have a lot of fun doing all of them. But the one that I decided to go for was this one, because the colours were really pretty. Used my Prismacolor pencils and some glitter gel pens, as you see, for a bit of sparkle, washi tape, but then I had a lot of fun splattering the paint. But yeah, it's always lovely taking part in Amanda Colours colour palette tag, because it just, I think it's got 5 colours in, if my memory serves, and she normally suggests Prismacolors, I think Copic markers, and polychromos. I'm sure there's 3 different materials anyway, and it tells you exactly which ones to use. So I normally use my Prismacolors. I can pick out the ones I need, and it just makes it so much quicker and easier to tackle a page, and that for me is what makes it really fun. So yeah, I think this is my most fun page I did, although to be fair, I did really enjoy doing that one as well. I just loved the little expression on his face. But yeah, because of all the different things I used on this with the pencil and the glitter gel pen and the paint, I went for that one for question 7, my most fun page. So then we've got question 8, my most time consuming page. Now, it could have been, to be fair, that unicorn page, those double pages that I just showed you, because that did take me quite a while. But there is another one that I know took me absolutely ages, and it was in Lost Ocean, and it was this one. So as you can see, there is a lot that I never bothered colouring, because I started this page, and I want to say it was right at the start of when in the UK we weren't sure if we were going into lockdown for COVID. I remember sitting in front of the TV, the news was on, thought, right, I'll do the background all black. So fine liner went all through. That was tedious enough. And then I looked at the page and thought, I don't think, I'd already spent who knows how long just colouring the background. I thought, I can't face colouring in every single thing. So I thought, no. So kind of thought, well, I'm kind of committed to doing the page. So that's kind of where this starfish idea came from, because I thought then, at least it fits with the theme of the page. But it means that I'd only got to colour that bit. But even then, I picked out just a few colours. It still took me absolutely ages, because there is obviously lots of little fiddly bits. And yeah, it still took ages and ages. But yeah, it was mainly the background for this page that took so long. Don't think I would tackle one of these pages again. But, at the time, it seemed like a good idea. So there we are. At least I got it done, and it was something different. But yeah, this was definitely my most time consuming page, I would say, just because of all the little fiddly details. So that was for question 8, most time consuming page. So then question 9 is this was a whip for the longest time and now it's done. So we've got Ivy and the Inky Butterfly here, and the page, well actually technically it's pages for this is this double page here. Now remember I started it because I've been working through in order, so this was, you know, the next double page. So I started working on it. Just hold the book up a bit, there's a lot of glare there from my light, isn't there, because of all the glitter. I remember starting it and quite enjoying it. I think I did, you know, the floor first and did the I think I did the furniture, then started working on the little bits and pieces, and I started getting a bit bored. I'm not much, even though, you know, I've just shown you a page where I've coloured lots of little fiddly details. I got bored of all the little fiddly details, put it to one side. I think I forgot about it for a while, to be honest. And then when I came back to it and thought, I really need to get this finished. And I think the problem was because there were so many little bits, I just got a bit overwhelmed. I didn't have a colour palette in mind. So by this point, there was already loads of colours on the page. So I thought, well, I can't really keep it limited because, you know, I've already chucked loads of colours at this page. So in the end, the thing that helped me was getting my smallest set of pencils and only using them, because my smallest set of pencils is the Staedtler Ergosoft of, you know, it's only got 24 pencils. So I remember once I'd picked those to use and just use those to finish off the last bits and pieces, which I think was like the books and, yeah, just the odds and ends that were around, then that sped it up an awful lot. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. Like, I'm glad that I got it done, because this is a book that eventually I would like to have finished. But yeah, I even put it to one side, like I say, for a while because I just got bored. And yeah, that was the only thing that really helped me to finish it, was just having a very, very limited set of pencils. So that kind of has taught me, I guess, to make sure that you've got a colour palette in mind, some kind of colour scheme, just to try and make things a little bit more manageable. But yeah, question 9, a whip for the longest time. Now it's done. There's that double page there. Then question 10 is longest whip, still a whip. So the only one I've really got, other than that Flora page I showed you earlier, is in here. And it is this, although to be fair, you know, if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that kind of my plan for this is, again, a bit like with Ivy, I would like to have it finished at some point. I mean, it's going to be many, many years in the future, but I've picked out the colours here for Agatha. I've even got them in a little pencil pot with a random pencil. But yeah, I've got the gel pen and the pencils that I used for her face there. And I thought, oh, I'll just keep chipping away at it. And the next page is here. So I've only got to do a hand. Still haven't even got to that. So yeah, this is obviously an unfinished page. So technically it is a whip. And I've just noticed, actually, there is her hand there. So I should really finish that as well before I carry on through the book. But yeah, some point I will chip away at this. I think I need to set myself a target for 2026, you know, of not necessarily doing a whole page a month, because I do want to stick with just working through the characters. But yeah, that is technically my longest whip, because especially now I've realised, I don't know how I've never noticed it before. I haven't even done a hand. So yeah, I should at least go in and finish her hand off, I guess. So yeah, that was Ghouliana's Sanctuary for Monsters by Alan Robert. So obviously, if you're not super into gory things, this probably isn't the book for you. But actually, I love it. It's just so different. And there is some pages where there is obviously a lot less to colour. But then there is still quite a few pages where it is still really full. So even though it is a storybook, there is still an awful lot in there to colour. So yeah, that was for question 10. So question 11, which is actually the last question as well. My favourite page of all time. Now, this was really, really hard to choose. So like I said, I've been colouring for about 10 years, and there's a lot of pages that I do really like for, you know, for one reason or another. But one that did spring to mind was from Magical Dawn by Hanna Karlzon. And it is actually the book belongs to page here. And it's mainly because I used a lot of different things on it, and I was quite brave with the background. It is an acrylic marker. It's a Tombow water-based pen, like I used earlier in that Johanna Basford book. So I did a couple of layers, didn't go through at all. Lots of sparkle, Inktense pencils to get like a kind of a galaxy effect, I guess, in there. Some glittery paint from the Art Spirits on the stopper. Lots of glitter gel pen. I just had so much fun doing this. And I just love all the extra little details I added with the white gel pen. And yeah, just really, really pleased still with how this came out, especially saying as I did do this a few years ago. I can't remember. I didn't get this book when it first came out, but I have had it for a few years now. So yeah, still not super experienced. I don't think I'd had my Inktense pencils for all that long, I don't think, when I tried this. And I think I used them there on those crystals as well to get the orange and yellow effect, and again in that jar. So yeah, I think that is my favourite page of all time. But there is a lot of others that could have been picked. But yeah, I did have a lot of fun with this, with all the different things I used. Even used some sparkly paint on that little label there as well, if that catches in the light. So yeah, like I say, a big thank you to Sue Vera Art for tagging me in this, the Fun Colouring Pages tag. I'll link any channels that I've mentioned down in the description below so that you can go and check them out. But yeah, feel free to do this tag. Like I said, I'm not going to tag anybody because I've lost track of who's done which tag, and I don't want to, make anybody feel like they're under pressure. So yeah, if you haven't done it, feel free, consider this your tag from me to you of, have a go. It is a lot of fun looking through your collection to find which books and pages you're going to use for these answers. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you've watched to the end, maybe you could put a flower in the comments below so that I can see who's watched to the end. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. Obviously, please click like and subscribe if you haven't already. It is much appreciated. So take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.